Rand has slipped in midday trade amid a rise in political violence and increase in the number of COVID-19 cases. The local currency lost just over 1% in early trade, worse than its peers, as the country grapples with an extended lockdown and violent protests and looting of local stores, which you have been experiencing throughout the course of today. Now, Petri Redelinghuys, who is a trader and founder of Herenya Capital Advisors, joins us now to dissect the local currency slide as well as other matters. Now, Petri, thank you for your time this afternoon. Now, taking a look at the Rand, it looks to be on track for its worst day against the dollar in almost a month. It slipped more than 1%. Take us through the factors that are driving this slump.
Right, so thank you for having me. Currently the Rand is around 2% weaker than what it was at the close on Friday. So we're currently trading at, I just want to get the latest number here, 14 Rand 47 to the US dollar. So there's a number of things that obviously can influence this, one of which is, of course, the US dollar itself. So we see the dollar index is slightly stronger, but by only about 25 basis points. So that surely has some impact on the weakness that we've seen. But I think what's really moving the needle here, are the images that you're showing right now, right? I think the unrest in our country is probably a much bigger influence on what's driving markets today than anything else. Generally, we're pretty, driven by offshore events and bigger international markets. But every now and then when things like this happen, I think it creates a lot of fear for market participants, and they pull out their money.
And one thing about the markets is that they react very quickly, instantaneously. So as the uprisings or as the looting continues, and so one is likely to see the markets also react exponentially and proportionately to that. How much of a threat is what we're seeing to the market and the Rand?
Well, I guess it depends on how long this continues, and I guess it depends on now that there's reports of military intervention, what that looks like, and how how much longer the situation keeps brooding, if you will. If you look at the market itself, it's sometimes a bit misleading, because the top 40 index, for example, is down only 1/10%, so it doesn't seem all that bad, right? But a lot of that buoyancy, if you could call it that, is off the back of dual-listed businesses. For example, companies that have listings in more than one country, where it's listed in London and in Johannesburg, or listed in Australia and in Johannesburg, or listed in Europe and in Johannesburg. Those companies are generally tracked in dollar terms. So when the Rand weakens as much as it has, or let's not say dollar terms, foreign currency terms, you have this Rand hedged effect, where we're seeing essentially industrials up about 0.5%. But there are some big names in there that are dual listed, like Richmond, for example. Some of the minerals companies also earn in foreign currency, so they benefit from a weaker Rand perspective. If you look at the locals, or the local companies, for example, the Financial 15 index, which is representative of the banks and some of the insurance companies, that's down around 1.5%. The JSE Retailers Index, of course, local businesses as well, mostly, that's down 1.6%. So it seems as though there's a little bit of a jittery feeling in the market. The things that are performing well and holding the market up at this stage are really the companies that are listed elsewhere in the world. And essentially they are trading at stable prices, but potentially in Europe, and we have this 2% weakening of the currency, which then in Rand terms increases the value, and that's really why I think we're not seeing the index on the broad index market level selling off at this stage. But I think this is a very concerning situation, and I think it's going to cause a lot of damage. If you look at the businesses that are being destroyed in the process, big international businesses, Dunlop has a warehouse that's being looted, the ShopRites, the Pick n Pays, the Spars. This is real damage, hey? And it's going to take a long time to work through this, I think.
What we are going to do, Petri, is thank you now for your time today, certainly as we continue watching the markets and how they are reacting to the chaos and the unrest that we are seeing.